We're now getting in another video from outside the Kabul airport where Afghan civilians are now seen desperately pleading for help as the US deadline nears. And these are visuals from Afghan civilians in knee-deep sewage water pleading for evacuation. For more on this, let me go across to my colleague Crispino, who is joining us live from the Afghan desk. Yes, Crispino, these are horrifying images that we can see on our screens right now of the Afghan civilians who are in knee-deep sewage water pleading for evacuation from the country.
Yes, let's take a look at these visuals right now. These are scenes of desperation at the Kabul airport with August 31 deadline looming ahead. You can see people here converging at the Kabul airport. And remember, what you can see on your screens is that this is sewage water at the Kabul airport, and people are walking in sewage water at the Kabul airport. You can see them holding placards asking, pleading to be saved from the Taliban. Now, this also comes amid Taliban issuing a warning that they will not allow Afghan citizens to leave the country. The Taliban terrorists vowing not to allow Afghans to leave the airport. You can see a host of people here stuck at the airport waiting to be evacuated, and you can see the scenes of desperation on their face. You can see on their faces that look of they want to be evacuated from that particular spot at the Kabul airport. They are in knee-deep sewage water. You can just see the plight. You can see their faces of desperation at this point of time. They're looking out for a ray of hope, and this is from the Kabul airport. We're getting these latest visuals from the Kabul airport of the people gathered there.
In fact, Crispino, we also do know at a time when the Taliban has announced that they will not be allowing any kind of Afghan nationals to leave the country to move towards the airport areas. We are seeing such desperate attempts and helplessness and visuals of helplessness that are coming in from Kabul airport, where people are trying their level best to just leave the country.
Yes, as you rightly pointed out, that scenes of desperation at the Kabul airport. Taliban has vowed not to allow citizens to go to the airport, literally logging citizens in Kabul right now. The Taliban has vowed not to allow citizens to go to the airport. Now, this comes ahead of the August 31st deadline. You can see the sea of people who are already stuck at this particular airport, the Kabul airport. Now, many say they are the lucky ones, but in fact, they are stranded. They are seeking to be evacuated at this point of time, and they are in knee-deep sewage water. But what about those people who are outside the Kabul airport? Now, this is from inside the Kabul airport, and they are locked between the barbed wires. You can see both the wall there and the barbed wire here. And onto this side is the Kabul airport. They are stuck in the knee-deep sewage water. It's a very unhealthy situation for them. But they are really caught between the Taliban and getting evacuated. They want to get evacuated as soon as possible. They are escaping from the Taliban regime. But what about those people who are still stuck in Kabul? Now, Taliban is cracking a whip. The Taliban are not allowing, as you rightly pointed out, Taliban have vowed not to allow the Afghan citizens from fleeing the country, and they have issued a diktat and a warning to all those people who want to leave the airport, to go to the airport. So really, people are locked at this point of time in the Afghan capital.
All right, thank you so much, Crispino, for getting us that update, and certainly desperate scenes coming in from the Kabul airport, where these are visuals of Afghan civilians in knee-deep sewage water pleading for evacuation from the country.